Europa is playing on the seashore with her friends, a handsome bull appears to them. And the bull is so handsome that these girls get fascinated. They start playing with the bull. Actually, that bull is Zeus. So what he does, when Europa rides that bull, the bull runs away with Europa and disappears. So that way he abducts her. Europa likes it and finally succumbs to Zeus' advance. This is the story. So you can see the bull there. You can see Europa. So this is a simple narration of that story. You can identify these characters. You can identify the iconography of this picture. So you know that lady as Europa, that person as Zeus, and that person. Nothing more than that. The story is narrated. But in this culture, you can see, I'm sorry, I'm rushing through it because we want to concentrate on something different. In this picture, you can see, in the earlier picture, the girls are playing with the bull. But here, the tongue that is sticking out of the bull's mouth and the way Europa is touching it. Now, the relationship between Europa and the bull is very good. Now, it is not merely an illustration of that story. It is not simple storytelling. It also enters into the emotive aspects. It also enters into the relationship between these two characters. So this is the iconological element which the artist has successfully imparted to the. I was talking about generating sentiments or kindling sentiments. Now the sculptor is successfully kindling those sentiments in the spectator's mind. So, but sometimes the artist can go even further and also issue very complex intellectual meanings. Now, this is a very contemporary depiction of the same. You can see the bull, that is Zeus, and Europa riding that bull. But the people who are conversant with modern European economic developments and who know about USA and the visual culture of USA, they immediately recognize that this bull is borrowed from Wall Street. And then the moment you recognize that, perhaps you will also start thinking about the American Depression. When Europe tried to take over the American economy, try to take control of American economy. So here, Europe becomes Europa, and the bull becomes the American. Now the meaning reaches a different level. So the same story, the same iconography, the same characters can issue various meanings. So this is what I was trying to say. And here the artist has very thoughtfully done so. It is not an accident. It is very, very intelligently, very cleverly designed to issue these meanings. So this is what we are trying to understand. How the artist thinks. Now let's go back to our Sanskrit. Shabda Shakti, the potential of word. Bhartrahari, we have discussed it, but now today we are taking a different term. Bhartrahari is one of the linguists who goes back to the 4th century. But Shabda Shakti has been discussed much before that, at least 2500 years back. The potential of word. But Bhartrahari is the person who has discussed it in great details and in a very convincing manner. His trilogy is very important, but particularly the second word from that trilogy called Vakya Padina. Pada is the word and Vakya is the sentence. The relationship between the Vakya and the Pada, the word and the sentence, is discussed in Vakya Padina. So what he says, now see what Bhartrahari says here, exactly the same thing has been discussed by Warburg and Kandinsky. He says that the word has 3 potentials. Every word has 3 potentials. The basic potential is Adya. Every word has a principal meaning. A chair is a chair, a lamp is a lamp, a fan is a fan, and a board is a board. Now, the moment I utter that word, the meaning comes to your mind. there is an association between the word and the meaning, which perhaps has been established by the church. We do not know who exactly created these. But these words, someday, perhaps thousands of years back, somebody from the tribe perhaps made a gesture, and the other person understood that gesture and reacted. He tried to call that person, the person came over there. And the rest of the people observed that he did this, and the other person went there. So perhaps the same gesture was used by the rest. Something similar must have happened in the case of language also. That somebody made a sentence, uttered a word or made a sound. That sound was associated with some object, and people accepted that relationship, and that word was accepted by that community. Gradually, different words came into being, language came, grammar came into being, and the language. So, language is a collective discovery. No individual can create a language is created. And we talked about that unnatural or contractual relationship between the Mukhyartha and Abhida. This is the relationship between the Mukhyartha, between Abhida, between the word and the meaning in Abhida is like a nuptial relationship. It's like a marital relationship. Like in marital relationship is an unnatural relationship. It is a contractual relationship. You can break a marriage, make a marriage. There is no natural relationship. So you can have a marriage and you can also have an extramarital relationship. Something similar can be found in language also. The word like mouse has a principal meaning, but it also has an extramarital effect with this mouse. So there are so many words which have more than one meaning. And the secondary meaning is also accepted. But if you check into the dictionary, there are so many, like in the underworld,
those moringas and plastics also
revolving. But we do not find that word in dictionary. The dictionary gives us a different. Anyway, so this is the Mukhya. Then there is Lakshana. Lakshana is metaphorical. All the phrases that we use are metaphorical. Every phrase. Bull in a China shop. Bull in a China shop. If you try to understand that phrase literally, it will not lead you to any sensible meaning. We are not talking about the bull. We are not talking about the China shop. We are talking about a person who is entering into a situation which he turns into a disaster. So here, some radical similarity between the two situations led us to this phenomenon. But the phrase that cannot give us a literal meaning. So here, the principal meaning is negated, and some other meaning is being negated. That is the metaphor. And Vyanjana is the implied meaning, where there can be more than one meaning in a single expression. And particularly, we'll talk about the possible examples. But implied, which is the popular example that is found in Prakrit literature and which you find in all the books on Vani or Shabda, that a traveler is passing through a village, and in those days there were no hotels. So people used to spend nights in the verandas of. So this man is seeking permission from the lady of the house to spend the night in her veranda. So that lady said that, look, I would have happily allowed you, but the problem is my husband is not here. He's away for 6 months. He has gone out for business. My mother-in-law is better, and I sleep in the kitchens. She sleeps in the first room. Now, if you stay in the veranda at night, it's quite likely that you might need a glass of water or something else. And if you keep shouting for me, or if you keep banging the door, the whole mola will come up. Again. So that is the problem. Otherwise, if you can help yourself, and then I don't know. Now, this suggestion is an implied suggestion. it's a very, very romantic, but you will find this story in all the aesthetic. But this is Lakshan, where what is being said and what is being implied. So the principal meaning is also logical, but at the same time there is an implied. That is Lakshan. But Lakshana and Vyanjana are the are the possibilities of a sentence, not a word. A word cannot give you Lakshana. Sentence, a word cannot give you Vyanjana. So the Abhida, again, we'll go back to Abhida, the principle meaning. I said that it is an outcome of a sanketa. It is an outcome of a fact. A fan is a fan because we decided to call it a fan. Unless we don't change our opinion, change our mind, the fan will remain a fan. But someday, if we decide to change it, we can. Like the Americans decided to call, they use the word gas for petrol. Now they change the word, and the whole of America understands. They, someday we started calling the news as elevators. Earlier we used to call them lifters. Elevators like that. So if it is done unanimously, even Abhida can change. So there are sanketas, there are facts, there are agreements which are inherited for languages with reality. But sometimes there is no word for a particular object, a newly created object. Now there, the society perhaps may not be able to do anything because this object is not known to the society. Like an object like telephone. When telephone was discovered, the society was totally unaware of the object. So the word was created for tele. Tele is distance, phone is sound. So distance sound, television, telephone, these are created words. And these are terminological words. So Bhadragi says that these sanketas are Adhunik sanketas. These sanketas are Prithvi sanketas. These sanketas are artificial sanketas. So if you want to create a technical language, you will have to keep aside the organic sanketas and create Adhunik to make the language richer and more meaningful. So can Abhida, so keeping these things in mind, now we are switching over to visual language. I know that I'm jumping from one discussion to another, but I hope I'm making sense. So can Abhida be applicable to visual? Can visual language have Abhida, principal meaning? So we can have Dheyabhut Abhida. We can have intended Abhida. We can have Adhunika Siddhi. A particular kind of picture can be given a meaning and people may approve of that meaning unanimously as an Adhunika sentence. So that can be called iconography. Now the character on the left is Moses. This is a very important sculpture by Michelangelo. How did we come to know that it is Moses? Because there are two things. One is having a horn. Moses was born with a horn. And he is the person who gave the 10 Commandments. He was handed over the 10 Commandments by the Lord. And the 10 Commandments were given to him by Moses. He's holding that plaque of 10 Commandments. So when you look at this picture, and if you are conversant with Christian mythology, you come to know, if you are conversant with Old Testament, when you notice that horn, you immediately come to know that this is Moses. Now it is pretty clear that this is Moses. A meaning has been given to it. A meaning has been given to it by using that Kritrim Sankheta or Adhunika Sankheta. This is a created Sankheta. There is an indication. By indicating it, we created the meaning in structure. The same is true about an Indian structure. There is a very interesting story in Ramayana and in Buddhist tradition also that a Rishi called Vibhandaka was practicing very strict celibacy. Brahmacharya Palanka. And a doe, a female deer, started visiting him. So he used to feed that female doe. And naturally, the doe used to come there. So there was a kind of emotional bond between the two. And the bond reached such a level that this almost had a mutual relationship. who started treating it, behaving like husband and wife. And that dog gave birth to a child. That child was born with a horn. So the moment you see this sculpture with a horn on it, you come to know that this is true. So this is given you. This Abhida is a created Abhida, this is Adhunik Abhida, Kritrim Abhida, or I call it Deyabhuta Abhida, and Abhida created according to the requirement. So by using this Abhida, by using this iconography, like we used it in the case of Europa, we identified Europa because she was sitting on it. Otherwise, we would not have identified. So that's what we are doing. So we are